Ses 1 2 3. Evet. Şimdi durum ne? Durum şu. Final Fantasy'yi bitirdik falan filan. Zaten şu an YouTube'a geliyor. Bitirmenin üzerinden bir hafta geçti. Bayağı üzgündüm falan filan. Neyse şeye bakıyordum. İşte takılıyordum öyle. Sonra o sırada şeyi hatırladım. Oyuna ilk başladığımız zaman DLC şeyleri vardı. Bildirimleri vardı. Neyse işte o bildirimler vardı. O aklıma geldi. Bir girdim baktım DLC muhabbetleri makarası neymiş diye. Bir ay önce. Şu an işte 2024 Ekim'i bitiriyoruz. İşte ben satın aldığımda işte baktım ne zaman çıkmış diye DLC'lerin iki tane DLC var. İşte şu dur şu kamerayı çekeyim. Rising Tide ve Echoes of Fallen diye. Bunların her biri ben baktım 3'er saat süren iki tane DLC. Ayrı satılıyor. Bende yokmuş. Ben var sanıyordum. Hatırlamıyordum yani bilmiyorum. Bakmıştım öyle. Yokmuş aldım. Her biri 3 saat sürüyor. Yani hikayeyi anlatıyormuş ve şu şekilde hani zaten şimdi girerken de göreceğiz. Hani oynadığımız zaman Jill ve Joshua olacağı için yanımızda. Zaten siz de göreceksiniz şimdi oynarken. Finalden önce. Yani zaten bu DLC'leri oynamak için tam final sahnesinden önce hani konuşma yapıp herkese vedalaşıyorduk ya oraya kadar gelmeniz gerekiyormuş. İşte tam işte Bahamut'un sırtına binip Joshua ve Clive'ın Bahamut'un sırtına binip Prens Dion'la beraber savaşmaya Origin'e gittiği o sahneden hemen önce zaten oraya geldikten sonra işte tam oyunun sonundan önce o noktaya gelip DLC giriş yapılıyormuş. Şimdi şöyle bir oyunun ekranından bir bakalım. Installing the echoes. Thank you for watching. Teşekkürler. Ne demiş? Already installed. Okay. Accessing additional content to access you must first have unlocked origin on the world map, sıkıntı yok. As well as complete the side quest where there is a will and priceless. Bonus items will be available for redemption for the system tab in the main menu. Available for redemption from reaching the main scenario quest, a chance encounter. Evet. Bir saniye. Neyse. Where there is a will and priceless. Okay. Thank you for using tag. Unique content to play. İkisinde de aynı mı? To unlock casket balcony in the hideaways artist on. Tamam önce zaten her türlü Where there ve price yapacağız. Onu yaparız. İkisi için uğraşmamız lazım. To unlock casket battle content in the hideaways artist stone, you must first clear both the main game and the Rising Tide storylines. Sıkıntı yok. Redeeming bonus items. Bonus items will be available for redemption from the system. Tamam. Şimdi bir continue diyelim bakalım ne olacak. Where there is a will ve priceless. Ha? Şimdi şuradan ben de şeye bakacağım. Şunu da şöyle aşağı indireyim. Tamam oyuna girmeden önce bir saniye. Neyse şey yapamazsak ulaşamazsak DLC'ye şey yaparız. Tekrardan internete bakarız. Şimdi Phoenix Heal Thyself yapmamız gerekiyormuş. Onu ben videodan izlemiştim. Önce bunu yapalım. Bir Infirmary'e gidip onu konuşmamız gerekiyormuş Joshua'yla. Yani şu an klavye oynamak bir tık ilginç aslında. Yani bu arada DLC'yi nasıl şey yaptığıma gelirsek, DLC makarasına nasıl ulaştığıma gelirsek, oyun işte videonun başında onu anlatmaya çalışıyordum. İşte oyun bittikten sonra, şimdi siz zaten DLC'de oyun bittikten sonra izleyeceksiniz. İşte YouTube'a işte Final Fantasy 16 Leviathan falan yazdım. Sonra fark ettim işte Leviathan DLC'de varmış. Sonra DLC'lere baktım, işte 2 tane DLC var. Ben de aldım. Şimdi size bu spoiler gibi gelmiş olabilir ama öyle değil aslında. Ya da öyle.
Yote, is anything the matter?
My lord, yes. It's your brother, though he does his best to hide it. The lesion on his chest pains him more with each passing.
I had feared as much.
There are certain elixirs which can ease the suffering of those afflicted by the curse, but his grace's case is severe. The drafts I have been able to prepare for, so I consulted with Tarja and certain of my comrades among the Undying about the possibility of finding something strong. And thankfully, a recipe was found. The only problem and our supplies are almost... Unless we can secure more soon. Your brothers... My lord, I know that I have no right to make demands of you. But would you help?
Of course, yani.
For Joshua. So, what is...
A rare herb by the name of... It grows only where the ether is densest. The vigor it stores in its stems helps to counteract... We discovered a patch near the aqueduct in Rosaria. But alas, yet more ether has erupted from the earth there recently, leaving the whole area. The search continues for a new source. One that we might reach with...
So it's only that you can't reach it? The stone and water itself is unharmed by the flood.
Well...
Then I shall go in your stead.
But...
You've yet to find another source, correct? So besides...
Well, Stonewort is easily identified by its blood-red blooms. Search around the aqueduct, and I shall remain here and prepare the...
Okay. Rosaria'da demişti. Ama sandık işareti çıkmıyor orada. Tamam, burada var diyor. Değil mi? Burada var diyor. Ben az önce buraya gelince ne çıkmıştı? Yok, burada çıkmamıştı. Tamam. Rosaria Aqueduct. Peki nereden ulaşmamız lazım? Görev şeyini nereden yapıyorduk ya? Şu. Up to the Pretor Zone. Tamam, şunu. Tamam, sandık işareti olan yerlere gideceğiz. Yapacak bir şey yok. Gerçi şey yazıyormuş orada. İşareti görmemiş. Şu an gözümde lens var. Sabahtan beri takıyorum. Biraz görüşüm sıkıntılı şu an. Ya sıkıntılı dediğim, gözüm rahat değil yani. Yoksa gözümde, görüşümde bir sıkıntı yok. Ya ben minimumlarla kapışmayı artık pek keyif vermiyor açıkçası. Gerek yok yani. Görev yapıp hikayeyi görmek istiyorum sadece.
Here's the aqueduct. Now to find our stone wart. Goethe mentioned blood red petals. Just my luck. Well, I won't be picking anything till they're gone. There's only one thing for it.
Burada değil ama.
Here it is. Better collect as much as I can before reinforcements arrive. Right. That should do it. Let's get these... Goethe, I brought back all the
Yes, my lord. Thank you. I'm sure it will serve us until we can find another source.
I'm very glad to hear it.
You and His Grace are very much alike, you know. You think only of how you might help others, and never of the danger to yourselves.
No more than you have minding my brother.
I am honored, but I beg you, my lord, do not give too much.
I'll keep that in mind.
Ah Yote. Öldük ama haberin yok. Belki çıktı şurada. Well, there is a will. Bir de burada yok da zaten önce şunu yapmamız lazım. Şunu. Evet, Jill'in yanına gidelim. Ah Jill ah. Jill değil mi o? Yok değil, Joshua'ymış. Orada genelde Jill'le konuştuğumuz için.
Clive.
Joshua, what's wrong?
I've received word from Cyril. The Undying have found Father's will.
His will? How?
In the crypt, beneath Rosalith, after Kupka was kind enough to drive out the Imperials, the Undying took the opportunity to recover what, and in the process of doing so, slave.
I'm surprised anything survived that.
Cyril asked that I join him in Tabor at my convenience. I have...
Of course. I want to know what's in that letter as much as you do.
Very well.
Cyril kimdi ya? İnan Cyril'in kim olduğunu hatırlamıyorum. Bir dakika, şu camı açmam lazım, çok sıcakladım.
Your Grace, my lord.
Cyril.
You've... Yes. If you would do us the honor, my lord.
My beloved sons, I know that I ask much of you in this coming war, but I see no other way to secure a future for our duchy and our family, yet even should we succeed in subduing the savages and winning back Drake's breath, the threat of the Blight still looms, and only with all Rosaria striving as one might we at least overcome it. I have made plans to see us through, but such are the obstacles that stand in our way. It shall likely fall to you to continue my work. I know that you have the strength, the courage, and the will to do so. This shall be an arduous inheritance, and so I offer you another, that you might be reminded of the love and the faith that I hold for both of you, the Father.
An inheritance.
It would seem the late Archduke penned this missive shortly before his...
The day before we left for
What are these plans he spoke? His plans for the duchy, Your Grace. Your father entrusted them to my predecessor, the former bearer of the Burning Quill, who entrusted them in turn to me. The complete emancipation of bearers is that... But your father's dream did not end there. His Grace also spoke of building hospices to care for those stricken by the curse, and the founding of a... With the blight spreading ever more widely across the twins, Archduke Elwyn saw this as... He wished to see men and bearers treated as equals. To see... Small wonder he did not think it achievable within his life. But he thought it achievable nonetheless. Had he not, he would... Nor would he have entrusted his vision to his most... Those who would have stood with you, shielded you from the machinations of...
It's a pity only they are still...
'Tis true that those most loyal to your father were the first to suffer, that but one at least remains.
What do you mean?
Mayhap it is better that she, after all, the duties entrusted to me by my predecessor, extended only to recovering His Grace's will, and arranging a meeting with the one who might... And where is this? She awaits you in the archive, Your... Thank you, Cyril. Shall we then?
My lord. I am Goditha, retainer of House Rosfield, loyal... Your father, the Archduke Elwyn, entrusted me with the delivery of a gift.
Lift up your head, Lady God. You have our gratitude for your service.
I merely did my duty, as any proud
My lady.
Perhaps you could explain what exactly is the gift?
As I'm sure you know, it has long been the custom for the children of House Rosfield to be presented with certain keepsakes.
Indeed it has. Our father often spoke of...
And had he lived to see it, he would have presented you with the treasures I bear. But alas, he did not live. Indeed, he was taken. He had intended to claim the Heartstone with which each armband was to be finished, but it was not to be. And his gifts remain incomplete.
I see.
It saddens me to bring them before you, as it was your father's wish that you be presented with the finished, but with his grace long since gone, and the stone left unclaimed. You are grown men now, and while I would not presume to insist upon your claiming the Heartstone in his stead, I know that nothing would have pleased him more than for you.
Thank you, Lady Goditha.
What say you, Clive?
What else? Of course, my lady. May I...
Oh, I am much obliged.
Do you know where we might find this Heartstone?
I do. Though it may be a matter of a good deal more than simply happening upon... It is found in the bellies of elder griffins, you see. We do at least know where to find one. A certain specimen has made its nest in Titan's Wake.
A certain specimen?
You are most perceptive, Your Grace. In answer to your unspoken question, in fact, this is the very same beast your father meant to slay. I have been tracking its... Were you to slay it in his stead, as men of House Rosfield?
What say you, Josh?
What else? Titan's Wake is to the south of here. But we must not be hasty. The good lady has been disappointed once already.
Eyes peeled, Joshua.
There it is.
For House Rosfield.
Epik bir bitiriş oldu.
Is this the Heartstone?
I expect Lady Godotha will know.
Lady Gorita.
Oh, thank the founder you were. The griffin is slain now.
And the Heartstone
Yes. This radiant luster like frozen flame. Thank you, my lord. Your father would be.
Lady Godotha,
Thank you, Cyril. I will be with. If you would excuse me, I shall have the stone cut. The armbands are complete. Pray, take them. They are yours, after all. Heartstone is harder and more enduring than garnet, or even ruby. It symbolizes unwavering will and devotion. And the graven vines encircling the stone represent the unbreakable bonds between you.
It's a message. Father knew we had enemies both inside and outside the duchy. Enemies who would thwart his vision. Only with unwavering devotion would it ever be realized.
And only if we stood together, as Phoenix and Shield, as brothers in arms. Only then might those enemies be overcome.
Indeed. His Grace knew the enormity, but this was more than just a message. It was a promise.
Thank you for remaining the steadfast custodian of our father's.
Forgive me, my lady. There is something I don't quite understand. The Undying told me that after Father died, Mother claimed all of the ducal treasures for her own. Even if the armbands were incomplete, she would surely not so... How?
Because I was the keeper of the vault. Though I was but a lowly servant, your father spoke to me of the deep love he had for both of you. In the days before the disaster at Phoenix Gate, I discovered that the Duchess had ordered her jewelry be sent away from the castle. I tried to warn your father, but it was... When word of the fire reached Rosalith, I knew my time was short. So I took up the armbands and I...
And thank the founder
Helal
you
lan
did.
sana.
Yet my duty to your father was incomplete. Not knowing what else to do, I followed the Griffin, thinking I might claim the Heartstone, and so my pursuit continued. He informed me that His Grace's will had been recovered.
Lady Godotha, on behalf of my father and all the people of Rosaria, I thank
Gerçek
you
ya
for your
abi.
loyal service.
Kadın
As do
nereden
I.
baksan 14-15 yıl falan.
Thank you, my lord,
Şimdi tam şeyini
Your
hatırlamıyorum
Grace,
da yılını hatırlamıyorum
for
da yani.
coming back to us. For giving my service meaning.
Gerçekten yani. Underground, where there's a will. Exit the required to. Okay.
the bands suit you well. It must be gratifying to finally receive the inheritance that was denied you for so long.
It is. And we thank you for the part you played, Cyril.
If you would permit me to play my part a little longer, might I suggest that you make your way to your father's memorial? Let him see that you have received his blessing.
I suppose it would be church. What do you say, Clive?
I think we should. I was hoping to be able to offer him my thanks.
Your father's helm is enshrined there. Since the day we recovered it from Phoenix, I prithee claim it. For it too is a part of you, and I do not doubt that your father would prefer it in your hands.
Thank you, Cyril. Come on, Clive. He's waiting.
Kulaklığım kafayı yedi yine ya.
unwavering will and an unbreakable bond. Do you really think we're strong enough?
To save the world? Of course. To have overcome Father's political enemies. Of that I'm less. Especially knowing what we know now. What Mother was truly capable of. But perhaps these bands would have helped. Knowing he was with us would have made all the difference.
Kulaklığım kafayı yedi. Çok ayar oldum ya. Ses gidip geliyor.
It's just back there.
Demek mezarı buradaymış ha.
Father always fought for what he believed was right. It wasn't until that night at Phoenix Gate that I realized I had never fought for anything. I always had someone else to do the fighting for me.
No matter how fate conspired against him, he never lost heart, never looked back, never stopped fighting. To me, he was the greatest of men. And I've been trying to live up to his ideals ever since.
Ya şimdi bunlar öldü ya. Hikaye bitti ya. Bunlar yaşandıktan sonra bunları oynuyor olmak garip yani.
We all
Bir
have,
garip
Clive.
hissediyorum.
We all have. And we'll keep trying. Because that's what he would have wanted.
What he would have done himself. Even if it meant standing against the very gods in the heavens.
I shall be borrowing this, Father, if I may. That you might watch over us as we follow in your footsteps.
Oy.
We won't lay you down.
Onward then.
Onward. To the end.
And to a new beginning.
Where there is a will. Okay. Bizim chamber'daki memorial'ların arasına geldi bu hem. Güzel abi. Anlamlı. Joining Headwatch. Joshua has joined Clive's party and will remain with him until departing for Origin. Teşekkür ederiz. Şimdi diğer görevin adı neydi? Where there is a will ve adını görsem şeyde hemen anlarım da. O değil. Değil. Değil. Yok o da değil. O da değil. Değil. Değil. O da değil. Değil. Değil. Hemen bakayım. Şöyle yapalım. Evet. Şurada gördüğümüz yere gidiyoruz. Priceless oradaymış.
Still alive, are you? Finished, are you?
Guardian Scarf, The Orb ve Rusted şey var, Battlepan var. Bir sürü şey var da biz hiçbirini almamışız. Yan görevleri yapınca geliyor yüksek ihtimalle de çok fazla şey yapmaya da gerek yok. DLC'leri oynayalım, bitirelim. Ben zaten şeye baktım. Concern for Jill. A bad feeling. Humble request. Concern for Jill. Though her icon brought her much suffering, the loss of Shiva weighs heavy on our heart, and we will be poor friends indeed if we not seek to lighten that burden. Even but only a fraction before we depart for the skies, I would speak on this more in private. Bir de şöyle bir şey var.
If Joshua was
Bunu
worried about Jill,
yapmadan önce
I should go and speak with him.
bir tane daha görev varmış. Onu yapmamız gerekiyormuş. O görevde şey, Cut of a Cloth mu ne öyle bir ismi varmış. İşte bu biz güvertede hani bir tane kadınla konuşup iki tane çocuğa kıyafet yapmak için görev yapmıştık ya. İşte o görevi yapmak gerekiyormuş. Bundan önce biz yapmış olduğumuz için şu an direkt mektup var mesela. Yoksa zaten o görev aslında önemli de bir görevmiş. Zaten karakterlere bakarken Jill ve şey arasındaki, Clive arasındaki şeyi bağı anlatıyordu zaten.
I read your message. I don't think I'd realized how different, but since we
I suppose it's not hard.
she doesn't think she belongs.
And that's why we need to remind her she is still, to let her know that we still need her. Now more than ever. But how to do that? When last we were truly close.
Of course. You remember the time we accompanied Father on his annual tour of the... And Jill and I broke from the procession to ride up bands.
To see the snow daisies. It was the first time Father had allowed us to join. And when he realized you were missing, He had the entire retinue down to the pot boys combing the countryside.
In the rain. A thunderstorm forced us to take refuge in a grove of oaks before we'd even made it halfway there. It was the Lord Commander who finally found us, and needless to say, he was none too pleased.
Then it seems you and Jill have unfinished business.
Man's Hill. It's not that.
No, true. Though I suspect it is also much changed. Little in southern Rosaria.
You're saying I should go and scout the area for bandits?
I'm saying we should first go and see if there are actually still any snow days. What would you do without me, Clive?
Hepsi ölmüş mü?
This is the place, but
I'm sorry.
there's nowhere been spared.
We keep looking. Man's Hill cannot be the only place where...
Perhaps, but it's the only place I know of.
Then why not ask someone who might know?
Someone in the backyard.
Visit the backyard mı?
Let's hope one of the gardeners knows where to find snow daisies.
Say what you will.
Buralara da oyun oynarken hiç inmemiştik. İlginç ve değişik bir gezi oldu bizim için anlık olarak.
Oh, what bring...
I need your advice. Joshua and I are looking for a place where snow daisies grow.
Snow daisies. Then you'll want somewhere not too hot and not too cold. I reckon Man's Hill would be a good place to start. Both have similar climbs and the right elevation.
Right.
Did you learn where we might find our flowers?
The gardener here mentioned the Royal Meadows in December.
Ah, the fields beyond Northreach. Well, if that's the case, then Yote... I recalled that she kept a record of our travels, you see. So I asked her if she'd perhaps noted anywhere that snow daisies grew.
Whose shores border the meadows.
Map'i bu arada az çok ezberlemişim yani. Kafamda direkt canlanıyor yani neresi olduğu, Northreach şudur budur falan. Obeliston yokmuş. Yürüyeceğiz.
The Dominion's all but done for.
And it's lucky we stayed here.
Was that shouting? Heard from the barracks. Do you think he was the only one who survived?
The meadows are vast. Where do we even start?
Yote mentioned the coastline. We can start there.
Wow.
You see them?
Flowers. Meant for our friends.
All yours!
What do you see, boy? Let's hope this is the last one.
Only one way to find out.
All yours, Torgal! Go, Torgal! This one! Go, Torgal! Torgal, kill!
İyiymiş abi.
That was harder than I expected. But found her. It was worth it. They're beautiful.
Do you think Jill will like?
She'll love them.
Şu görsel çok iyi ya. Böyle atmosferik oyunları çok seviyorum ben. Landscape falan güzel olan, böyle sağ sol görebildiğin, açık alan olan falan, o tarz şeyleri seviyorum. Görsellik beni cezbediyor oyunlarda.
It appears my work is done. The rest, well, you and the... We wouldn't want another thunderstorm now.
Speak with Jill. Balkondaymış.
Jill,
There is? And where might this something be?
Ah be
It's,
Jill, ah.
not here. Now, I know this. How would you fancy a trip to Oriflamme?
There are so many. This is what you wanted to show me.
You don't need to say anything. The smile on your face is enough.
Neyse buraları geçmeyeyim.
We've been worried about you. Joshua and I. Do you remember when I took you to Man's Hill? Or tried to?
How could I forget? You saw me crying and thought a change of scenery might lift my spirits. In the end, it earned me a nasty cough and a stern scolding from your mother. But I felt wonderful nonetheless.
I'm sorry. I had no idea what I was getting us both into. But I couldn't bear to see you like that.
Before we left, my chambermaid told me she'd overheard your mother talking about my marriage prospects. with some of the noblewomen at court. They were debating whether it would be more profitable to marry me off to one of the high houses instead of saving me for the ducal line. No one thought to ask me what I wanted. I was nothing to them. A pawn at best. I felt so trapped. So lonely.
I didn't know.
But I wasn't alone. You were there. Your hand in mine as we ran for those oaks. And I knew then, no matter what happened, I would be all right. I'll never forget that feeling.
Bak şu görsel, al ekran görüntüsü abi. Şahane.
Before we broke camp, the morning after the storm, do you know what I did?
No? What?
I slipped away from my governess to climb the tor. And from there I saw a sea of petals, all reaching for the sun. And I realized that no matter how terrible the night, dawn would always come. That you would always come for me.
Abi bunlar DLC'den sonra oynadı, işte DLC'leri şeyden sonra oynadıktan sonra
Again and again.
beynime mızraklar giriyor şu an. Ama dönemedik işte. Dönemedik.
Where do you see us? When all this is over?
Don't know. Not here, though. I think I've outgrown the twins. After everything we've been through, the realm just seems so small. I'll need some space to spread my wings.
Then that's what you'll have. And I'll stop at nothing to see that you do.
Abi hayır. Hayır. Oyun bize neler yaptın oyun.
I never was much good at garlands, but it'll have to do.
I'll treasure it forever.
Thank you, Clive. For this, the flowers, for everything. It's exactly what I needed. You are my treasure.
Hayır. Allah'ım kafayı yiyeceğim. Hayır. Abi şunu hemen ekran görüntüsü. Ah, ah. DLC oyundan sonra oynayınca benim haller.
We should probably be getting back.
Ah, ah.
I expect the others are wondering where we are.
You're right. There's still much to do.
And we'll do it together.
Abi together deyip durmayın valla ağlayacağım şimdi. Oturup ağlayacağım, beni ağlatacaksınız şu halde. Priceless gerçekten. Gerçekten priceless abi. She Was Kiss. Song of the Winter Autumn Gone From Frosted Lips Oblivion. Abi çok sert. Snow Daisy garland displayed in Clive's chamber. I never was much good at garlands, but it'll have to do. Allah. Ekran görüntüsü. Bu anı ölümsüzleştirmek istiyorum. Joining hands with Jill. Jill has joined Clive's party and will remain with him until departing for Origin. Echoes of the Fallen questline. A new questline, Echoes of the Fallen, is now available by speaking with Karen at her stall in the hideaway. The Rising Tide questline. A new questline, The Rising Tide, is now available by inspecting the reading table in the Clive's hideaway chambers. İlk önce Rising Tide'ı oynayacağım. Neden? Çünkü Rising Tide'da Leviathan var. Söylediğim gibi. O yüzden yapacağımız şey önce Rising Tide'ı bitirip Leviathan'ın muhabbeti neymiş onu oynamak. Echoes of the Fallen'a sonra bakarız. Bizim odaya gidelim.
First the skies, then the crystal. What next? The advent of the Bringer herself.
Hadi yapalım şu işi abi. Sid. I shall not waste time mincing words. Leviathan's dominant is in need of rescue, and despite my innumerable misgivings about joining hands with an outlaw of the highest disrepute, the dame has assured me that there is none better suited to task at hand. I dare not reveal more for fear this missive could fall into the wrong hands, but if that little I have penned here has kindled your interest, I bid you journey to the Vale in Northreach and inquire with one Layla. She will surely see you satisfied.
Leviathan the Lost. But why now? After all.
Why? What?
Oh, I'm not sure you'd believe me if I told you.
After all we've been through. I doubt there's anything that could surprise me at this point.
All right then. Rouse Joshua and meet me in the mess. We'll talk there. I see we're all here.
So, what is it this time?
I'm not sure yet. The letter delivered to my chambers omitted a few crucial details.
Do we know its provenance?
That was one of the details it omitted. But whoever the sender was, it seems the dame held them in high enough regard to point them in our direction.
The dame? Well, she's not one to waste our time. It must be important.
Important might be an understatement. If the letter is to be believed. Leviathan?
So the Warden of Water has... what has it been?
More. The Lost moniker dates back at least that long. Even our venerable lawsman would not have been so much as a glint in his father's eye when last the mighty serpent brought his crushing waves to bear upon the realm.
But why the gap? I know it can be a few years before it...
Should the dominant of Water's bloodline have been severed somehow, it could have prevented a new dominant from...
But if one has awakened now, he couldn't have chosen a worse time. Every nation in the realm has lost its dominant. If word gets out that there is still one to be had, they will stop at nothing to claim it for their own.
And the twins will be at war again, just when humanity most needs to come together. Did the letter say anything else?
Bir saniye.
That if I wish to know more, we must that the Vale can arrange a meeting.
Famous last words. I'm coming.
As am I.
Thank you. And Otto?
Yeah. I'll keep an eye.
I shall leave the invincible in your capable hands.
Invincible mı? O ne ala? O ne? The column find again what was lost. Changing that quest destination for Rising Tide are indicated with an OK. After accepting the quest, current objectives are displayed in the to-do list on the right hand side of the screen. These will temporarily replace main scenario objectives. Prioritizing the tides. If you wish to restore main scenario objectives to the to-do list, you can do so on the journal tab in the main menu. Tamam, teşekkürler ama istemiyoruz. Note Reach'e gidelim.
The High Cardinal.
To the Vale it is then.
Then it's lucky we stayed here.
Was that shouting I heard from the barracks?
And you're just gonna fall into line. What else can I do?
I don't trust this Duke.
I'm looking for a Layla.
So, will your friends be joining in? Or just watching?
Saç vere göz rengi güzelmiş ama.
We're not.
What you do with your time is up to you. Oh. Sorry.
Among other things.
Look, I'm just the messenger. There's only so much I can tell you.
Specifically.
A location. North of town, on the shore of Isle of Feist Bay. There you'll find a tent, and the woman who can
And that's all.
Actually, one thing. There's more than flowers in the meadows these days.
Does anyone else think it's strange that this woman should prefer to keep to the outskirts of town?
Not if she realizes the value of the information she's party to.
And the danger it puts her in.
Well, what do you think? What do I think?
Şimdi gökyüzünün rengi tekrardan biz fight atmadan önceki şey haline dönmüş ya, karanlık grimserine. Işığı değiştirdiği için oyundaki renkleri söndürüyor. O yüzden hiç hoşuma gitmiyor. Hava açıkken oyundaki çimenler şunlar bunlar daha güzel gözüküyor. Şimdi soluk bir renk geliyor ya şey bulutlardan dolayı.
No prizes for
Continue the search for what abi? Tekrar çadıra mı gitmek ya?
The embers are still warm.
So you're Sid.
Wow.
I suppose I must be. Which means you have me at a disadvantage.
Apologies. I am Shula, tributary of Mysidia, final haven of the Morts of Water.
The modes of water.
The very tribe into which it was believed Leviathan's dominant was a people notable for their sapphire eyes, and yes, that would be impossible, since the tribe famously...
Vanished. Despite the best efforts, though, we've managed to keep that fact hidden from good Krieger's faithful for over a century.
Along with Leviathan's dominant.
That wave out there. What do you know of it?
The surge. Only that it's been...
Since the fall of Drake's Eye almost a century ago. Some claim the two are connected, but none can speak with any certainty.
So in other words, not that I'll hold it against you. The wave was raised by Leviathan in an act of rage. Moments before the waters were stayed, and the icon...
And you want us to...
rescue him. You see, a little bird told me about a certain outlaw with a singular knack, and ours is about as unruly as they get. For years, we've searched for someone who could hold their own against an icon. Someone just like you.
What exactly did your dominant do to warrant this pun?
What did he do? He committed the greatest crime but he deserves a better fate than the one my people forced upon him.
As do we all. Very well. Far-fetched though your tale may seem, something tells me you speak in it. So we will do what we can for your... But first, you will tell us everything you know about him and...
I can do better than I can show you. My people are waiting.
Lead the way.
Shula.
All right, you might want to hold on to something. We're coming up on the wall, and passing through can take a bit of getting used to.
I don't see any wall.
Of course you don't. That's the point. It's a glamour woven by our ancestors to keep our village hidden from prying eyes. But don't take my word for it. Watch.
That was worse than a slug of Bacchus wine.
Clive, the sky.
It's blue, but how is that possible?
You do know what a glamour is, don't you? Ours just happens to work both ways, and a good thing too. I wouldn't fancy staring at those sickly clouds every day.
Çok iyi abi. The Rising Tide. Çok hoş. Keşke bu ikisini DLC'leri oyun bitmeden oynasaydık.
And that concludes our little voyage. We're here. It's a long slog to the village, and a hard one. I hope you're up for a climb. What? You didn't think we'd arrived, did you? The village isn't up here. It's on the other side of the mountain.
Of course it is.
DLC make-up'larını kullansak.
Watch yourself, Sid. This path can be treacherous. If not for the sheer drop, then for the beasts who prowl it.
Thank you for the warning. And please, call me Clive. Sid is an alias.
You will be pleased to learn, Lady Shula, that I have no such aliases.
Is that so, Lord Margrace?
It's all the same to me.
Biz niye change şey yapamıyoruz ya? Neyse yapmayalım, boş ver.
I was wondering when they'd pick up our scent.
Stand back. We'll handle this.
Oh, will you now? Shall I keep my axe and spells to myself then?
Earlier you mentioned spells, yet I see you carry no crystals.
Since when did a bearer ever need crystals?
But then, where is your brand?
Waiting for me in Sombrek, if I ever get careless.
Then it's in for a long wait.
We're almost at the summit. From there, you'll have a better view of our home. Few have ever set eyes on what I'm about to show you. Just so you know.
This is not what I expected.
Welcome, my friends, to Mysidia.
It's been a long time since I saw the North looking so
Alive.
I'm sure you have plenty of questions, but it's been a long journey, and I expect we could all do with a rest. Our humble village is only a short way from here, if you'd care to accompany me. Let's get ourselves in front of a fire, and I'll tell you everything you need to know.
It's beautiful, Shula.
And we aim to keep it that way.
Are those stones glowing?
That's one of the cairns which maintain the glamour. Steer well clear.
Görsele bak.
If the surge was an act of rage,
One wonders what prompted it.
Şuna bakar mısın? Çok iyi değil mi? Şimdi lazer ne taraftan ne tarafa gidiyor? Şuradaki Leviathan şuraya mı sıkıyor? Koruma bariyeri mi aktif olmuş yoksa buradan Leviathan'a mı sıkıyorlar ya da Leviathan burada dalga mı yapıyor? Öğreneceğiz. Şula bize ateş başında anlatmak istiyormuş. Ya ben şimdi çok sıkıldım moblarla kapışmaktan. Daha önce de söyleyebiliyorum ama hiç uğraşmak istemiyorum ya.
could we not have spared ourselves the mountain crossing by landing further north?
In clear view of the bay.
On evening tides.
Does morning's light return?
Open the gates! The tributary is home!
Yakından daha tatlı gözüküyormuş.
Outsiders? Well, I never. Look at the size of that dog.
All right now, back to your duties. You'll have to forgive my people their curiosity. We don't get many visitors. Or any, truth be told.
Then we are honored to be the first.
This is quite extraordinary.
So do you believe me now?
You've made it difficult not, but how did your people chance to settle here in the north? Unless I am much mistaken, the moats of water long called the coasts of southern Ash their home. Until Drake's Horn fell and the Blight forced them ever inland, where...
We met our doom, along with our dominant. I see you've read the Gregorian Church's account, but perhaps you'd like to hear ours. That building over there is the Witten Hall. It's where my people gather to discuss matters of import. We can speak more inside, once the place is ready to receive you. It shouldn't take long, but you're welcome to explore the village while I see to...
Thank you. We'll do just that.
Güzel görsel.
That'll be them then. Don't look like much if you ask me.
Look.
Intruders!
Aynen öyle. You must flee abi.
No, do you think he died?
Hound? Or his
Allah.
So what do you think of our little haven? It might not have all the comforts of a southern settlement.
And there's a lot to be said for that. It can't have been easy keeping this place a secret.
Not easy, no. We've dedicated our lives to maintaining the glamour that conceals us. Us? And Walius.
This man, Walius, is he Leviathan's dominant?
That's right. Though he's no man.
A baby.
Forgive me, but you said that the Dominant and his icon were bound inside the Surge almost a century ago. That would surely make him oldest.
It would, if he'd been allowed to age. But the spell robbed the poor bairn of even that.
I'm sorry.
Walius was the son of my great-grandfather. Leviathan awoke within him almost immediately. But instead of allowing the lad to live out his life as a valued member of the community, my ancestors sought to put his power to other uses. Sadly for them, the icons sensed their trick and summoned a wave so large it would have swallowed the entire village.
Then it is not the surge that binds the child, but time it.
Forgive me.
I'm not surprised. Which is why it might be better if I took show you exactly what he has to endure.
That is why we came.
Then let us be off. There's a road that leads north from the village. It'll take us right in.
Are you bound for the Wave, tributary?
We are, Delina. Have you spread the word about our guest?
I have. Everyone knows to treat them as family.
You shouldn't have any trouble now, but just in case, I would have...
Ceaseless reel from Shula.
That's very kind.
The feeling's mute.
Should the tributary be indisposed, feel free to ask me any questions you might have regarding the village, and I'll do my...
Thank you.
Then I bid you good...
Our storehouse lies across the bridge. If you're short of supplies, you may find what you need there. Though we will have to ask you for recompense, poor as we are.
If you want something from the forge, you'll have to wait your turn. Got my hands full as it is. Though not with what I need, thanks to the love of my life.
How long do you think this bridge is?
Suddenly, there were curves everywhere.
There's a pair of ships just up ahead.
Ships? But are we not still leagues from the shore?
The quickest route to the Surge is due east, past the second galley.
Shula, how did these ships come to be here?
What do you imagine happens when an icon of water gets angry?
Really, brother, did you have to ask?
Tonberries.
Bunlarla daha önce hiç karşılaşmadık.
Hatred for everyone and everything.
Of, iyi ki bunu geliştirmişiz bu arada. Verdiği hasarı gördünüz mü? O zaman şöyle yapalım. Gerçi şu an fight phase yapamıyoruz.
Attack! Get him! This one!
Yaratıkları nereye uçurduysa artık skillimiz abi. Erişemeyeceğimiz yerler. Yan şeye atmışız onları.
I can smell the sea.
It's not far now.
Çok güzel görseller valla.
How will we reach the surge?
We'll follow the coastline north. There's a bridge that'll take us across to the cape.
Might I inquire about the ray of light?
It's what prevents the surge from being reclaimed by the sea. And Wallius by his people.
Bayılıyorum ya böyle görsellere. Tailwind Bay Obelisk activated.
You said before that the child is bound within the surge. But you've yet to tell us how we're meant to reach him. I trust we won't have to hold our breath.
No. The surge wraps around the cape without engulfing it. If we continue to its tip, there is a path down to the seabed. And the wave's origin.
All right. It won't be the first dominant we've met at the bottom of the ocean.
Bottom of the Ocean başka kimle şey yaptık, karşılaştık ki? Ha şeyi diyor, Odin'i mi diyor? Okey. Buna benzer bir şey daha vardı. The Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown'u oynarken. O da yeni çıkmış bir oyundu. Onda da böyle dalganın durduğu bir yer vardı.
It's not much further now.
Orayı da çok sevmiştim mesela.
The path seems well kept. Do you and the villagers often come this way?
Only me. Once every new moon without fail. It is my duty both as village elder and Wallius's descendant.
But surely no one blames you for what happened. Why should you bear the...
You misunderstand. I do it because I want to. To show him that he isn't alone, and that there are still some of us who would see an end to suffering you will soon witness with your own eyes. The forest grows quickly here. Left unattended, the path would be reclaimed in a matter of moons.
Adanmış insanlarda hayranlık uyandırıyor ya. Ben de en azından.
Does the light point the way to the child?
It does indeed.
Abi çok iyi ya. Çok sevdim şu görsellik. Gerçekten verdiğim parayı hak ediyor yani şu
Look at
DLC'ye.
all the droplets of water suspended in midair.
Where they have remained untouched by time for 80 summers.
It's not right.
No. It's not.
Bir bebeği kurtarmaya gidiyoruz.
There. Up ahead. Down in the center. Follow me.
Aa.
He's still primed.
I'll never forget my first priming. The fear. was old enough to understand what was happening. One can only imagine how this poor child felt.
He is the victim of an unforgivable sin, committed by people who saw him as nothing but a means to an end. He must be so frightened.
Then I'll ease his burden.
You don't mean?
I'm not going to hurt him. Contrary to the tales, I don't go around killing dominants for no reason. What if I told you there was a way to remove Wallace's icon?
I tell you, you were a madman.
It's hard to believe, I know. But it can be done. Though, it isn't without its risks. Part of the icon remains no matter what.
So, it might still come to violence.
I don't know. It depends on the dominant. I've seen things end well, and I've seen things spiral out of control. But I do know one thing. If we turn our backs on this child, there will be no end to his suffering. And I think that a worse fate than the alternative. Don't you?
Very well. Do what you must. And whatever happens, I will own the consequences.
Don't be afraid, little one. Let me bear the weight. Hush now. It's going to be all right.
Is it done?
I think so. I can feel the icon inside me. But something's wrong. He wasn't just afraid. He was angry. All right. Let's see what you've given me.
The power of World. Clive has claimed a portion of the icon Leviathan's descends. Tuning with Leviathan not only changes the elemental aspect of Clive's magic spells, but also allows access to several new iconic abilities such as Crosswell, an inescapable rush of water that pummels enemies from multiple angles. Ability details are found on the main menu. Leviathan's feet. Leviathan's iconic feat, Serpent's Cry, can be used to summon to Clive's off-arm a seal-speaking serpent capable of dealing precision strikes to enemies at great distance. Pressing X in this state will unleash a tidal torrent. Multiple bursts of water capable of forcefully knocking back smaller creatures while pressing Y. Will fire a powerful jet of water, a tidal stream. Tidal Gorge. Using these attacks will deplete your Tidal Gorge, becoming unavailable when the gorge is empty. The gorge will slowly replenish over time, but can be refilled quicker by pressing B. Time a second press perfectly read on the screen prompt to immediately refill the gorge, as well as earn unlimited ammunition for a short period of time. The tidal gauge is also replenished when successfully pressing those. Roll while using Serpent's Cry, pressing while engaging the task of the roll in the air. Okay,
Leviathan!
No, just an egg. But a formidable adversary nonetheless.
Over here!
Oh, look. As friends.
Over here! Get him!
Is everyone all right?
He seems calmer now.
You said Walius was frozen in time. But he knew we were here. How?
I don't know. He's never reacted to anything or anyone. Until now.
The child has been bound for nigh on a century. If he has been conscious from the first, we must remove the seal.
It's not that simple. I wish it were. There's more to this tale.
I see.
Pardon.
I'm sorry, Walius.
Awaken the storm.
So, part of Leviathan is in...
No.
Good. Because I still haven't... If you want to know the rest, we should head to the Witten Hall.
Of course.
Look, Dad! Did you read that?
To understand the spell which binds Walius, you must first know who we are, and what drove my forebears to commit such an atrocity. This tapestry is our story, the one that brought us here. After generations of wandering, my people sought refuge in northeastern Storm, some 170 years ago. But in exchange for our safety, the Gregorian Church demanded we renounce our faith, and branded us heretics when we could not.
To be exterminated, as a lesson to others.
And so was it chronicled in the Imperial histories, for anything less would have made the Church seem weak. Yet a handful survived. The few who did fled north and west, and in doing so discovered two things that would forever shape our fates. The first was an old legend revealing how to make your very own mother crystal.
But that's impossible.
As they were soon to discover, aye, far too late. Our ancestors convinced themselves that they could recreate the divine if they could only find a strong enough heart. A living being capable of channeling torrents of ether. And the heavens provided.
A dominant warriors.
They'd stumbled across a nostrum in an ancient ruin, which they believed could provoke a sudden outpouring of a creature's ether. They meant to enrage his icon. Leviathan would have destroyed everything, had our people not made their second important discovery. A means to stop time itself.
Where did they find that? The Northerners had no such magics, or they would have used them.
When our ancestors first arrived, the land was uninhabited, save for an old witch who lived on the highest peak. Her body had been consumed by the curse, a cruel payment for her long years of service to the Northern Thanes. So desperate were they to prevent the fall of Drake's Eye, they'd forced her to devise a spell to stop time.
But Drake's Eye did fall.
It did. When she finally perfected the necessary magics, it was already too late. As punishment for her failure, the Thanes exiled her to this forsaken place to live out the few days she had left. Knowing her suffering, our ancestors cared for her as best they could, and in return, she gifted them her spell, that even though she should die, her legacy might live on. So armed with both the knowledge of the ancients and the secrets of time, our ancestors settled upon an ambitious plan. They would create a new Mother Crystal and enchant it that it might endure for all eternity. Thus would our people's wandering, our suffering, finally end, and prosperity visit us once more. And all it would require was the sacrifice of a single child. A small price to pay, or so they believed.
Another victim of man's blind reliance on the Mother Crystals. So we know the seal source. How do we break it and restore the flow of time?
Do you recall the dome of light on top of the cliffs to the west? Inside lie the ruins of an old temple. It was there that the witch built the Vare, a conduit of sorts that channels her remaining ether into the Surge. But it's been a long time since anyone set foot in the place. And now, there are others who claim it as their own.
Then we shall go prepared for a fight. That said, it may be best if one of us stays behind.
You think the village could be in danger?
We saw the ether flow from Wallius in all directions, but only encountered a single familiar. There will be more. And should even one make its way here, I doubt the walls could hold it back for long.
Then I shall stay. The Phoenix will see your people safe, tributary.
You have my thanks.
Very well. We should depart at once. I fear time may no longer be a luxury we can afford.
The Vare is not easy to find. We must first head north, and then west, deeper into the forest.
No sign of the child.
Bastard things.
Oh, I never should have let him go alone.
Others fell.
Before, we turned east at the shipwrecks to reach the coast. Now we must head in the opposite direction.
Left it is then.
There's a large gate up ahead, and beyond it, a cluster of ancient ruins. The temple, or the Heir of Hours as my people call it, can only be reached by passing through them. The forest is crawling with life, most of it hungry, which is why we make sure this gate stays shut.
Why you carry that impressive-looking axe, I presume?
Noticed her, have you?
Bir saniye.
The temple is up there.
Don't worry. Those cliffs aren't the only way to the top.
Are these the ruins?
Yes. As far as we can tell, they're part of the same complex as the temple itself.
To think of all the people who must once have lived here. These remind me of home.
You're from the north, then?
Yes. And no.
I see.
Jill'in ultisini geliştirmek lazım. Upgrade'lere upgrade'lemek lazım. Stagger kısmını güzel kırıyor. Daha güzel kırıyor. can için kullandım. Çember büyüdü. Normalde böyle değildi. Yani şimdi geliyorum. Yani Bahamut'unki de böyleydi, uzaktan kullanımlı falan. Güzel değil açıkçası. Ultisi fena değilmiş. Bu sıkıcı. Bu da sıkıcı. Yani şununla şunu kullanabiliriz farklılık olsun diye. Yara direkt 3000 para var. Şu muydu Jilinki? Aynen bu. Combat'li olarak görüyor. Şey yapmıyor. Tamam, Odin'inkiyle değiştirelim. Şu combat şeyi bitsin. Tamam, bitti. Şöyle yapalım. Şunu bir upgrade'liyoruz. Şunu açıyoruz. Hadi bir daha upgrade'leyelim. Olmadı mı? Bunu upgrade'leyelim o zaman. Hani nerede? Aşağı iniyorum şuradan. Okey. Maiden's March.
Do you see that cave up ahead? Whoever lived here carved a flight of stairs into the stone
away to the top.
And whatever it is that awaits us there.
Gidelim abi. The Airy of Ours. Geliyorum.
There, the temple that time forgot.
And the Varys inside?
Yes. You can see the spell's path from the nave.
What is it?
I don't know. It's probably nothing.
Ne oldu? Cil bir bağlantı mı hissediyorsun? Sen de mavi gözlü ve beyaz saçlı sayılırsın yani.
Forgive me, but why build the Vare here?
The spell was originally meant to be cast on Drake's Eye, and this was the only place with an unbroken line of sight. Tongarees like to think these ruins are their own.
And they look none too pleased to see us.
Over here!
abi.
While our numbers dwindle, theirs seem only to increase, as if they were feeding off our suffering.
Could this be their leader?
You're more than welcome to ask.
Şöyle finishlerin hastasıyım ya.
That could have been worse, I suppose.
Aye, well, if the forest's taught me anything, it's that there's always something worse.
Bizi yemin ediyorum oyun başından beri şu minik moblardan kurtarıyor Phoenix'in skill'leri yani. Özellikle o ikisi. Ve upgrade gerçekten işlevsel. Yani Jin'in Shiva'sının stagger kırması da çok güzel yani.
This one.
Is that the nave?
Just inside the dome, yes. But it's what's out here that worries me.
There I was thinking they'd all migrated south.
The weaker ones did.
The weaker ones. Did you hear that, Sid?
Right.
frozen. Just like the surge.
Another of my ancestors' sins. Shall we? The blue veil shows the extent of the spell's reach.
But I can feel its ether from here.
Shula, wait. Before we cross the threshold, I'd like to know a little more about how these magics work. I assume we'll be safe from their influence.
We won't grind to a halt, if that's what you mean. The spell only affects the things that were present at the moment it was cast.
You see?
But if we can enter, that means other things can as well.
Like the ones we saw on the way here.
And worse, probably.
Is this Leviathan's doing?
Well, it certainly wasn't ours. When he realized my ancestors were attempting to cast a spell from here, he made to destroy the temple.
And almost did by the looks of it.
Bir saniye. Bakalım. High potion iş görür abi.
This would have been a hall of worship. There was something similar in my father's keep. The priests would deliver their sermons from the dais.
Your father?
Wow. Güzel gerçekten. Kuşlara bak.
Just let us pass. It's all right. We'll get through this.
All yours,
last climb then.
Jill Van Last Climb dediyse öyledir abi.
The fair.
By the founder.
It's just as I thought.
Jill, does this ether not feel somehow?
Familiar, yes. I sensed it the moment we arrived, though I wasn't sure until now. You can feel it too, can't you, Clive? She's calling us.
She?
You don't mean the witch?
I do. Though she was more than that. Much more. She was a dominant. A dominant who once commanded the icon that now resides in both me and Clive.
Of course. I don't know why I didn't see it.
Shiva'nın dominantıymış demek.
Who else would have the power to freeze time?
None other than Shiva herself. But for her ether to endure after all these years, it's almost as if... As if she shared it with another, just as Torgal shared in my ice.
Havalı.
Shiva's companion. Though something tells me she's not as friendly as us.
My ancestors never warned us about this.
Wasn't left here for them. Tell me it existed. Get him!
Timekeeper.
Then it leaves us no choice.
Şakram saldırısı geldi abi. Gerçekten bu Görsellerine bayılıyorum. Eyvah. Kanka oto doy çalışmıyor. Neyse ben kendimi arada doyduğum oluyor da genel olarak salıyorum. Abi şeyden çıkamadık. Öleceğim. Abi kesiyor beni. Öldüm. Allah. Yazıklar olsun bana. İlk başta hiç dojlamadım ya. O bayağı sıkıntı oldu. Abi DLC'de öldük ya. Ama güzel bayağı. Çok beğendim. Hem görsel olarak hem de skill'leri olarak falan çok tatlı bir boss olmuş yani. B'ye basmıyor olmamın en büyük kötülerinden biri son saldırıyı devam etmemiz. Saldırılara bakar mısın? Çok güzel. Çok beğendim bu boss'u. Enhance Shiva's iconic feat called Snap, but slightly increasing the duration of Frostbite Ice Trail and extending input window for permafrost. Evet. Timekeeper çok tatlı bir boss olmuş. Tam puan veriyorum abi.
Now let's destroy it and put an end to this.
Wait. The spell must be weakened, not undone.
Isn't that what we came here for?
Did you ever stop to wonder what might happen to the tidal surge if I unraveled the whole spell at once? I didn't think so. This is going to require a bit more finesse. From wind and light, water and earth, let the silent palm of mine ice there's too much ether. Here. Let me help. Let us help. Almost.
Did it work?
I think so. The thread connecting this place to the child should be broken. Meaning Walyas should finally be...
Free once more. Leviathan, our most profaned fragment, its divinity defiled by the hand of man, its spirit shackled by his hubris, till Mythos came, bringing release. Now, let the sins of man be redeemed by the hand of the servant of God.
Damn it.
It's happening, isn't it?
It is.
What is? What's going on?
Precisely what we feared. Leviathan is out of control. This isn't over yet. You should head back to the village and get everyone to higher ground. As for the rest, Ifrit will handle.
Recharge headset uyarısı geldi abi. O zaman şöyle yapalım. Bak şurada. Enter the search. Hi. Cape Neptune.
After 80 years of imprisonment, I'd be angry too. But I can't let it end like this, Walliers. It's time for you to come home.
Abi hiçbirine vurmadım ben. Ortada atayım ki ikisine birden kalkan kırsın diye şey yaptım. Uğraştım. Olan şey yok.
All right. I heard you the first time.
I'm not here to hurt
yours! Come on then. No more hiding. Warriors!
Evet abi. Bütün oyun boyunca merak ettiğimiz son domino. 8. domino.
This isn't what I wanted.
Leviathan.
I only hope you can forgive me.
Bunun boyutu da bayağı büyük.
I said stop! This has gone on long enough!
DLC'de bizi 2 kere öldürdüler abi. Timekeeper'la Leviathan güçlüymüş. Yani ben pek loga atmaya pek uğraşmıyorum açıkçası yani. Biraz da base takılıyorum ama zaten sorular oynamıyorum. Aslında gerek yok.
just full of surprises, aren't you? Garuda will be proud.
Evet. İçine girmemem gerekiyormuş bu arada. Ben içine girmem gerekiyor sandım. Girmemem gerekiyormuş. Of. Hayır abi. Hayır. Tekrar vakit sarmıyor. Kanka ben bu dodge tuşuna da basıyorum ya. O nasıl oldu zaten. Basıyorum yine de yiyorum hatta.
Full of surprises, aren't you? Garuda will be proud.
Ya bundan kaçmak için ne yapmam gerekiyor? Yine ölebiliriz bize de neyse. En azından şeyden başlatırız. Buradan başlatırız.
If that's what you want. You've had your fun, Leviathan. This time, you waited on destiny!
Fail. Bir an ödüm koptu bu arada.
Now that was quite a tantrum.
Ah be abi. Jill'le Clive'ın da böyle bir çocuğu olabilirdi.
Where is he? Well, yes.
He's adorable.
He is now. But did you see him a few moments ago?
Clive, I don't know how to thank you.
It's all right. We should find him a dry blanket, though. Wouldn't want the little monster catching a cold.
Little monster.
There. He's finally asleep.
The poor thing had a long day.
That makes two of us. So, what happens now?
Now? Now, we make things right.
How?
By providing Walyas what he was denied. A place to learn and grow. A family to love and protect him. So that one day, when the wounds in his heart and mind have finally healed, he might decide for himself how he'd like to live the rest of his life. But until then, I'll stay by his side, come what may.
Then he's a lucky boy. And not only because he'll have the best warrior this side of the belt to teach him the battle axe.
She'll do her best.
Shula. The beast that threatened your home is tamed. The empire that threatened your people toppled. Might it not be time to cast off your ancestors' glamour and retake your place in the Twins?
Perhaps. It's not as if we have the crystals to maintain the wall much longer. But are we truly safe? Is the world truly ready to accept us for who we are and what we believe? If I remember rightly, you and yours still choose to remain hidden, do you not?
We do.
Well, your people will always be welcome in Haven, regardless.
As will yours in the hideaway. We're allies now. If there's anything you need from us, supplies, food, equipment, do not hesitate to ask.
It's kind of you to offer. But we'll manage, just as we always have. Besides, I suspect you'll be needing everything at your disposal if you're going to save the world.
I fear much of it is past saving. The best we can do is strive to turn what's left into a world where we can all live as equals.
A noble endeavor. And there'll be a place in this world for us, will there? For Walyas.
For everyone. I swear it.
Then we shall be waiting. Until the tides bear you back to shore.
Evet. The Rising Tide DLC Final Fantasy 16 böylelikle bitmiş oluyor. Valyas'ın kurtarılmasıyla beraber Heaven Signboard, the emblem of Heaven, hidden village of the moats of water. Their symbol is a marriage of the icon Leviathan and the ceaseless reel, the endless circle of life that all must walk. Hideaway'den mi peki bizi başlatacak? Yok. Sanırsam bir yola
Do you think he'll be all right?
veda konuşması olacak.
Well, yes. Only time will tell. But I can certainly think of worse places to spend one's childhood. The moats of water are a fine people, and they will take good care of him.
Up by the Vare, Ultima spoke to me. He called Leviathan his most profaned fragment, and told me to redeem the sins that had laid him low.
Is that so? The sins of Walyas's ancestors were grave indeed. To force him to prime at so tender an age.
And to freeze him in time, that he might never know what it was to live.
Yet I doubt either of those crimes was the source of Ultima's displeasure. It was that the Icon's power had been put to another purpose than the one he intended. To him, Leviathan must have seemed an aberration.
Could that be why Ultima made no attempt to lead me to him? The fear that this profaned fragment might corrupt his vessel somehow.
Perhaps. Or perhaps he simply deemed Leviathan surplus to requirements. Having concluded that his vessel might be made to serve his purposes without the full sum of his power.
His purposes? There's no escaping them. Even here. Hidden away in Mysidia, the blessing of the crystals proved nothing but a prison. A prison into which Wallius was born, and from which freedom is hard won. If the world doesn't change, if we don't change it, he'll end up suffering the same fate as every dominant who came before him.
Then we must change it.
That we must.
And we shall.
An invitation. A sinister light bleeds from the Arete stone, beckoning Clive to enter. What new challenges await him within Ultima's virtual proving grounds? Explain that. Tame the tides. Our makeup has changed. Back to their origin. Make for origin. Evet, şimdi şöyle gösterelim. Şimdi gördüğünüz üzere burası Mysidia'nın haritası. Buralar lok ama bunlar yüksek ihtimalle görevlerle beraber açılıyordur. Yan görevlerle beraber zaten buralarda var. Şimdi şöyle şuradan bir Hideaway'e dönelim. Şimdi bir de diğer DLC var. Tabii onu şu an oynamayacağım. Şimdi bakalım ne kadar süredir kayıttayız. 3 saat 13 dakika olmuş. Evet, 3 saat 13 dakika. The Rising Tide Final Fantasy 16 DLC'yi bitirdik. Oyunu oynarken merak ettiğimiz 8. Dominant Leviathan'ın hikayesini öğrendik. Farklı bir halkı keşfettik. Mysidia köyünü keşfettik. Artık köy mü başka bir şey mi ne demek isterseniz. Shula'nın eşlik ettiği bu yolculukta beraber bir macera yaşadık. Diğer hakkında beğendiğim şeyler nelerdi? Atmosferi güzeldi. Çevresi falan. Çok beğendim. Işık ve renkler vesaire, işte mimarisi güzeldi. Dalga olayı falan. Görseller çok şahaneydi. Son iki boss Timekeeper ve Leviathan gerçekten çok güzeldi. Özellikle Timekeeper 10 numaraydı gerçekten. Çok beğendim. Çok güzel bir boss yapmışlar. Görsel olarak, skill çeşitliliği olarak, karakterin kullanımı olarak, karakterin görsel yapımı, ne derler, karakter dizaynı olarak çok güzeldi. Leviathan da güzeldi. Başka ne söyleyebilirim? Yani güzel, tatlı bir DLC olmuş. 3 saatlik. Ben keyif aldım. Bir de oyunu bitirdikten sonra hüzünlü bir şekilde bitirmiştik. Karakterlere bağlanmıştık yani. Bir kırgınlık vardı. O yüzden karakterlerle yeni bir maceraya çıkabilmek güzel oldu. Hem 8. Dominant'ın da ne olduğunu görmüş olduk. Tatlı bir şeydi. DLC'den önce diyorum. İşte bir şeyden önce, orijinden önce oynanacağını, yani DLC'nin ne şekilde erişilebileceğini biliyor olsaydık önce oynardık, bilmiyorduk ama sıkıntı yok. Bizim için de güzel, tatlı bir deneyim oldu. Bir de hangi şey vardı şu an ona bakıyorum. Diğer DLC'nin adına bakacağım şimdi, bir saniye. Bakalım. Echoes of the Fallen. Bir tane daha var. Onu da sonra başlayacağız. Şimdilik The Rising Tide DLC Final Fantasy 16'ya burada ara verdik. Çok güzeldi, beğendim. Echoes of the Fallen'da görüşmek üzere. Bye bye.